Welcome to the Prosperity and Beyond podcast. My name is Michelle Samper, your mindset and manifestation coach, here to help you create your dream life from the inside out. In this space, we deep dive into self-image, mindset shifts, manifestation, meditation, and universal laws so you can align with your highest timeline and fully step into your authentic power. This is your sacred space to trust your intuition, raise your vibration, and unlock the prosperity and freedom from within. Say it with me. I am prosperity and beyond. Today, I'm so excited to welcome Christina to the show. Christina has been immersed in personal development since the age of 15, and her journey has led her to step fully into her calling as a teacher and guide. She is now a Proctor Gallagher consultant, helping people transform their lives through thinking into results, the powerful program created by Bob Proctor. Christina is passionate about showing others how to tap into their infinite potential of their minds to create wealth, health, and joy. And coming up on Monday, September 29th, she is hosting her brand new webinar, The Science of Getting Rich, inspired by Wallace D. Wattles. Hi, Christina. Welcome to Prosperity and Beyond. I'm so happy to have you here today. And for many of you who are listening, this is my friend and my dear, I want to say colleague, because we're both coaches. We met through Proctor's Principles, through Brian Proctor, and it's just an honor to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining.
Oh my God, Michelle, thank you so much for this introduction. I'm calling you a friend at this point, to be honest, because you've been a friend since I met you in Proctor's Principles, and I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me today.
So let's tell the audience a little bit about your story. Actually, I want to know more about you because I know a little bit about your story. How did you get into personal development?
Well, it's a really cool story, to be honest with you. It all started when The Secret came out in 2008. My brother Eric found the movie. I'm not sure, actually, it was in 2008 right now. I can't remember, but I remember he found the movie and introduced the whole family to it, and we were hooked. I remember watching the movie, and we all resonated with this really old guy in the movie, and it was Bob Proctor. You know, he was talking about vibrations. He was talking about what you can imagine in your mind, you can hold in your hand. And somehow, like when he was telling me that, I believed him. My mom believed him, my dad believed him, my older brother believed him as well. And thus started our personal development journey. My mom immediately joined with Bob Proctor, and she started coaching with him, and then she became a consultant for him. And that's been her whole career. She's always been a consultant for Bob Proctor. So I've just been lucky to be along for the journey since I was 15 years old. You know, my mom used to watch You Were Born Rich on the TV. We didn't watch Netflix. We watched You Were Born Rich. The books I had was Think and Grow Rich or The Science of Getting Rich. When my friends in high school were outside like partying and stuff, I was at home making business plans. Like this is how I grew up. And so I've been on and off on the personal development journey because sometimes I had a difficult relationships with my mom. Like sometimes we would get along like besties, and other times we were like, okay, I'm done working with you. Like I need to move on. And all my personal development was coming from her because she was working with Bob Proctor. So I was on and off for a while. But then she passed away in 2024, and she was doing the program Proctor's Principles with Brian and Corey. And they contacted Eric and I, and they offered us her spot in the program for the rest of the duration that she was supposed to be in. And that has been life changing for me. I feel like Brian and Corey's authenticity has allowed me to finally step into applying everything I've been learning, because all I did for 15 years was learn, and just amass everything I can as knowledge, right? And now I'm finally starting to do something with it.
So now you're a coach and you have access to thinking into results. When was the moment that you realized, I want to be a coach? This is meant for me. This is what lights me up. When did you start that imagination of this is what I want to do?
It was on a boat in a cruise. in the middle of the Caribbean because I was there to meet Mr. Bob Proctor. My mom and all the consultants were on a cruise ship to teach. Like it was an event or something for a whole week. We got to go on a cruise ship, visit these amazing places, and learn from Bob and a lot of other people that were on that boat. And I remember that feeling when I first saw him live. I saw him speak to, oh my God, I can still feel it like inside of my heart. I was like, I don't know what you're doing, but I want to be doing that. Like that exactly, whatever you're doing, whatever you're a part of, I want it. And that's when I realized, and I was 15, you know, I was just a kid, and I knew back then. But I thought that to be a coach, you had to do it a certain way because that's how the industry is, or was at least. All the coaches that I saw, I wasn't resonating with. I didn't feel like they represented me. So I kind of stepped away from that dream because I thought that, I need to be brave. I need to speak well. I need to be skinny. I need to be pretty. I need 1,000 things I don't have to be a coach. And then I met Brian and Corey and Tommy and Trace, and I realized actually I have it all within. I don't need to go out and get anything because guess what? I am a good enough speaker. I am a pretty cute person, and everything I want, I can like learn along the way. So that has been like a huge major shift for me this year.
And it's heart centered. I can feel the vibration. I can feel the excitement. I can feel the calling within you. Can you tell me about the moment that you were in Bob Proctor's presence? How did he make you feel? Because you described it a little bit and I could feel that energy, but I go back to that moment. What do you think he was doing energetically for the people that were receiving from him? Why do you think people believed him? Because I never got to meet him or be in his presence.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's interesting. Everybody says the same thing in a sense that you can feel him before you can see him. You know, like it's the best way to describe it is this huge ball of love. Just a huge ball of love for life. You know, it's not like love like you love your partner or your parents or whatever. No, no, it's this pure energy of I love everything that exists, that will exist, and that has existed. Like literally, just I am here to be a messenger of peace and love. And you know, now that you're asking me that, I realize that that's how Brian and Corey make us feel. You know, they just wrap you with love. That's the best description I have of him. He made me feel like everything is possible. Like there is no mountain high enough, literally. And he doesn't even need to talk to you for you to feel it, right? You would just hear him speak and he'd be like, oh, $1 million? Pff, that's nothing. Oh, sickness? Pff, that's nothing. Oh, you want to do this? Pff, nothing, nothing. And you'd be like, what do you mean nothing? It's huge. It's a huge mountain. And he made you just feel like that mountain ain't high enough, you know. That's the best way I would describe it, to be honest.
I love that. Yeah, I can feel the energy of Bob all the time. And I think it's the power of belief in his words, the way he spoke, how heart centered he was. It wasn't about the outcome per se, it was about the the feeling, it was about the belief, it was about his message. I don't think he would care if he received millions or not. He wasn't going to stop from that path. It wasn't for the outcome. And the ripple effect that he has made in people's lives. I've only discovered about Bob Proctor last year. So it's beautiful to hear stories about how he's impacted so many different people. So, what is thinking into results? Because I really don't know much about it. And can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, so just to go back to what you were saying, it's always crazy to me that you've only like heard about Bob Proctor a year ago and like look at you, like you are so much into this material and you've been following and applying every single thing. And to be honest, like for me that has been in the industry since I was 15. I'm 31 now. It's very impressive what you're doing, Michelle, like seeing you embrace that side of you and just going with it is, it's given me courage, to be honest. You've given me a lot of courage. So thank you so much for that.
I
Um,
appreciate that. I want to add because I think the reason why I'm here to help people realize that this knowledge, this information, this frequency is within us. So one thing that came to me the other day is that Bob used to say, oh, he studied it for 61 years. And that's a long time. But on a spiritual soul level, all we have is right now. And we talk about when you want something and you focus on it, you can become one with it energetically. And I feel like the frequency in which Bob created is actually here right now. So all we have to do is make a decision and we connect to this higher version of us, our higher self, our inner being. And all this, that feeling of love has always been with us. So I think he was just a walking vessel, reminding people of who they really are. And I think because I'm here to let people know it is about studying, it is about repetition, it is about reprogramming, but it's also all within you. All the answers are within you. Your intuition. See, that was not the missing piece, but the most important piece. It's not
mhm.
the 61 years. It's not repetition is important because it's what you're focusing on, because you're remembering who you are, but you've always been that person who knows, who is eternal love, who is prosperous, who is abundant. And it doesn't have to take 61 years. It's about making a decision and you are there. So I think that's where I'm coming in. So to say, oh, 1 year, 15 years, 61 years, make a decision and you are there. Tap into
Yeah.
this universal intelligence that we are connected to, that he spoke about.
I love that because he would always say, like, I'll see you on that vibration, like, meet me on that vibration. And, like, in a sense that, like, mentally, if you're ever, like, in need of me, go to that vibe. We have a special vibration to communicate on. That's what he used to say to us. So go to that vibration, talk to me, and I'll be there. I'll listen to you guys and I'll answer. So it's very fascinating for me to hear you say it in a different way. Way to go, Michelle. You know, the thing is with Bob Proctor's message, which is something I realized this year as well, is the general public got a message, and the more you studied with him, the deeper the message got, right? So, like in Proctor's principles, we get a lot of intuition, but I think that they're probably like building a different program to go deeper, because I know that they go deep. They use their intuition all the time, right? And they know how to teach us, but sometimes the general public like needs to know about the goals, the paradigms, and so many different things before you start telling them, guys, you already have all the answers within. I remember Bob had an inner circle where we would go very, very, very deep, and we studied a lot of difficult books with him, and he would just teach about like a very small passage, but that passage somehow was always what all of us needed to hear, and I got to ask him so many fun, cool questions.
I'm getting
And
emotional because you already are at Bob's frequency. So you are already connected with him because you are a vibrational match. And really, what your business is waiting for is you just to make the decision, which you already have, but even stronger, that all that knowledge, all that frequency is here with me. It's done.
yes, I have been working on convincing myself a lot this past few weeks or even month that I already have everything I need. Because that's one challenge I'm enjoying very much. To be honest, slowly realizing that actually I am that amazing person that everyone keeps telling me that I am is so cool. To be honest, but yeah, I am asking Bob's help like every single day because he knows how to do it. He knows better than anyone else. Like, might as well go to the expert, right?
Yeah, and when I love that, because when you're actually asking Bob, because he's in spirit right now, you're actually asking your higher self. I think he was just closer to his higher self this vessel in this body, and that's why people felt it. People were gravitating to him because they're like, oh, this is who I really am. And then they're awakening. It's really the beginning of the spiritual awakening, but the whole part of us is always with us. And that repetition is, oh, this is who I am. I remember. It's more of a remembrance than I have to reprogram. It's I'm remembering and I'm feeling it. I'm remembering and I'm feeling it. And it feels good because I'm connected to this higher version of me
A
who is
thousand
leading
percent.
you. Your intuition leads you in your business. You are the business.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, this is so funny because today I had to make a business decision and I was discussing it with my brother, my business partner. And my intuition was telling me something, and my reasoning was telling me something else about the webinar, actually. And my brother was like, "We're just gonna listen to the intuition. We know this. Even though it makes sense, all the reasoning makes sense. Let's go with the intuition. This is where it's at." And we were like, "Okay." Yeah, sometimes it's good to study this with the family or like the business partner because they remind you, they keep you on track. They're like, let's follow the intuition. Intuition knows.
I've been practicing a lot too. I'll ask myself certain questions, and I'm into human design. I know Tommy is too. It's my sacral. It is like complete. So all I have to do is ask myself a question and it's uh-huh or uh-uh. And I do that all the time now. And I listen to that. And it's really fun. Once you start getting into that intuitive flow, you will not stop. And it doesn't make sense, but you start to trust it and everything starts to unravel, just like this podcast right here. See how easy it is to be yourself, how activating it is? And it's free. Like we're free here in the now, and you're all, we get to be who we are and serve and be and receive in that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, 1,000%. I'm very interested by human design. I haven't had the time yet to sit down and actually study it. I've reached out to Tommy and Heather about it, and Heather gave me a lot of very good information to start studying it. But like I just know that my intuition is so strong and like so on point that if I just listen to it, I'm gonna get there because I've been living through my intuition my whole life without even knowing, you know? Now, when I look back at my life, I realized that when I was a child, I was picking up people's vibrations around me. I just didn't know that I was picking up their vibration. You know, I would meet someone and immediately know if I like them or not. 100% of the time, like that feeling inside of me was accurate. Like, if that person was not a good person, it would end up showing that that person was not a good person. And I'm talking as a child, like 5, 6, 7 years old. Corey was talking about her daughter, Emma, and she said that Emma used to do the same thing when she was a kid. And I was like, oh my God. Yes, I forgot about that. I forgot about that completely. And you know, it's like the more they teach you about themselves, the more you realize things about you, and you realize that your whole life you've had everything you needed. You just couldn't see it because you were focused on everything you don't have, you know. When you start focusing on everything you have, you start noticing more and more that you have.
Rose colored glasses. This connection to your higher self, which is the spiritual part of you, the all knowing part of you, the part of you who already like has it all.
Yeah.
So that's what we're connecting to right now. And I love it. I love it so much. And this is really just the beginning for us. Like we're in our early 30s and it's just the beginning and it gets to be exciting. And one thing I had to work on is that I would feel like, why am I not like everyone else? Why why can't I just go get a job? Or why, I've always been the person who wants to do things a little bit differently and accepting myself that I'm different, but that's what makes me beautiful. That's what makes everyone beautiful. And having that courage to show up on social media, to show up and especially with the spiritual side, because that's different, right? 5 years ago, I wasn't even awakened, so that I would have been judging myself. Just being in that level of authenticity is such a beautiful thing, and just sharing like your childhood experiences because other people need to hear that too so that they can embrace who they are as you embrace who you are.
You know, when I started posting on social media, some people reached out to me saying, "Are you sure you want to talk about your dead mom on social media? Like, this is very heavy for social media." And I was like, "Guys, this is part of my story. Like, my mom died not not a year ago. Like, this is part of my story. I'm grieving her. Like, I cry on a weekly basis, daily basis sometimes. Like, it depends what I'm going through. And it's just to show everybody that no matter the pain, no matter what you're going through, like this material can help you. You know, if it's to get over grief, if it's to start a business, if it's to get millions, if it's to finally find the purpose, the reason why you're here, and start living your life for yourself and nobody else, then this program can also help you with it. This is what I love about thinking into results. It's based on the 60 plus years of research that Bob did. It's based on all his experience. Every success and failure has built thinking into results. And what I love about the program is that my mom used to teach it, But I also decided at some point that I wanted to go learn it from someone else, right? I wanted to be like just like everybody else. Okay, I want to try to find the money for it, because that's the first challenge in joining thinking into results for some people, not for everybody. But for some people, it's finding the $6,000 it costs to join thinking into results. And that was the case for me. And that success, like me wanting to join thinking into results so bad and finding the 6K in an instant once the decision was made, I still I still learn from that experience, right? So I bought thinking into results, and then I started going through it with a different mentor. I was with Kim Calvert at the time. I love her. She's amazing. I still follow her on social media. She's so inspiring. First time I wanted to join was when she bought herself a Ferrari, and I was like, wait a second. I've heard about this girl like 2 years ago, and she was no one. She was nothing. What do you mean she has a Ferrari now? And she was like, well, I went through thinking into results, and now I have this and that and that. I was like, excuse me, I can do that. I have thinking into results. So I bought thinking into results. I went into mentorship with Kim, and she started telling me that all my goals are attainable. Thinking into results it's all the same principles as Proctor's principles, just a different version of it, I guess. And I feel like all the programs at this point that the Proctor family and like everyone that was with PGI and puts out is just the same message in like different versions, right? In different POVs. So for me, I like thinking into results. It was my initial program. The first lesson teaches you about your goal setting, about how to make decisions. Decisions, the most important thing in the world to do, right? Because nothing starts until you make a decision. And that's the first like article that you read when you're studying thinking into results. And then you start to learn about your paradigms, that programming that's inside of you and controls 92 to 96% of your behavior. That part was crazy to me. What do you mean 96% of my behavior is controlled by something called a paradigm that I've never heard of and that I am not even responsible for creating? Bob was telling me that my paradigm comes from my parents, my grandparents, my great great grandparents, and my nanny that I had when I was a child, and all the people that were around me growing up, when I was hearing them back in Lebanon saying, oh, everyone's gonna get sick because of this, oh, the war is gonna do that to us, and oh, there's no money. Then I moved to France. Oh my God, French people are the best at saying what's wrong with the world, right? They have the most beautiful country, the best food in the world. Like they have access to everything, but they like to complain a lot. They know this about themselves. And I started observing these French people like complaining that, oh, I don't know, I missed the bus, and I'm like last week I was in a war zone. Like you're missing the plot, like I was conditioned to believe that money doesn't grow on trees, that to be successful you have to do this and that, you have to look a certain way, you have to speak a certain language, you have to know certain people. Like I was ingrained with so many things I didn't even know I was ingrained with. And when I went through thinking into results, they make you pause and examine what you know about yourself and really think, is this the kind of person I want to be? Is this how I want to show up in the world? Because Bob used to say all the time, you only have one life. This is the only go you get as far as we know. So stop wasting your time. He's like, stop screwing around. This is your life we're talking about. And I never heard him when he said that. And when mom passed away, I heard it. I was like, oh, my mom just died, like just like that. And my mom felt greater than life. She was this powerful force. And her passing away was a wake up call for me. I realized that, you know what? Tomorrow is not guaranteed even for me. So, what am I waiting for? I've done this amazing program called Thinking into Results that taught me about self image, that taught me about paradigms, that taught me about goals, that taught me about masterminding and community and so many important things that not only helped me in business, but helped me as a person. maybe more importantly, help me as a person to function, right? Help me to exist in a world that is teaching me to be mean and to lie and to kind of fake it till you make it, and like all of these different negative ways that the world makes you believe, okay, if you want to succeed, you have to not see your family for a while. You have to not go on holidays for a while. You know, it's 80-hour weeks for 2 years or 40-hour weeks for the rest of your life. I didn't want
A lot
that.
of people are in survival mode or that
Yeah.
do mode or doing things that don't light them up. They're not excited by what they do. They don't look forward to their day. They're not using their gifts the way they could be. So tapping into who you really are.
hmm hmm I think that that's a major reason why when you talk to people that are stepping into their dream life, they're always so happy. You know, and it's not because they have everything they want. They don't, because they're going after goals. They're always continually going after something they don't have. But it's the fact that we have finally accepted, this is who I am, this is what I want, and I will step into it. I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I'm not sure of all the steps, but that's okay. Who knows everything? No one, not even Google, literally. Like ChatGPT doesn't know everything. So who am I to know everything? So just step into that fear, step into that role that you want, that goal that you want, and figure it out, you know?
One thing Abraham Hicks says was we never get it done because we're always expanding, right? And we're always growing and we're here with a purpose. And that's why Bob never stopped studying. Even with the program that you have, I'm sure you're studying every single day. Like you're not done and you've been doing this since you were 15 years old.
Yeah, yeah, I am like literally. I also go through thinking into results with my clients. At the same time, this is something that's very, very important that Bob, Brian, Corey, Kim, everybody says it's you have to keep growing with your clients. I'm a better coach because I study at the same time as my clients, right? Because it's like if you're a dietitian but you're fat, like your clients are not gonna listen to you, you know? If you're a doctor but you're sick, like it doesn't make sense to the person. Even if they're not gonna tell you it doesn't make sense to me, they're just gonna feel it. They're gonna pick up on a vibration. They're not gonna be able to say it because they don't understand that they're picking up on the vibration. But your clients pick up on if you're sincere or not. And that's why when you talk to Brian, you see him on any call. Brian, Corey, Tommy, Trace, you believe them. You know that they're doing the work as well. You know, you believe Brian when he tells you, I sit down every morning and I do my gratitude. You know, I believe Corey when she tells me that she does the mirror work. When I do the mirror work, I get the results that she tells me I get. And that's the important part of thinking into results. It's all you're always learning, you're always redoing, and what's interesting is I've been doing this for 15 years, reading literally the same 10 books for 15 years. And every time I see something new, every single time. And it's not because I'm a slow learner, I'm actually a very fast learner. But it's because every time I level up, I become someone new. I integrate this information, right? It becomes part of me. So this new version of me comes to read the book again, and she sees something new. So that's the important part of always studying so that you can keep growing. If you want to stop studying, you can. You'll just stop growing, though.
It's just forever growing. It never gets boring. And falling in love with yourself and knowing who you are is one of the most powerful things that you can do for your mental health, for manifestation, the laws of the universe, for attracting, for creating, for everything, for our life's purpose. This is what we're meant to be doing, is looking inward. And that starts with the thoughts. Can you talk about thinking and thoughts? Because a lot of people might be listening here that haven't really heard about why is thinking so important? Why are thoughts so important in creating results?
The really interesting part about thoughts is that if you go to science, okay, scientists have been able to measure our thoughts, all right? So when we are sending out thoughts, we're expanding energy. If you examine this whole universe, if you examine everything that exists that you can see and cannot see, everything is made out of the same compound when you like boil it down to its core bare minimum. And that compound is called energy, right? Every single thing is made out of energy. My hand is energy, you are energy, my lunch is energy. Literally, every single thing that exists is energy. And so are our thoughts. And our thoughts and energy in general, when you study energy, you realize that it moves into form and out of form. Now, what does that mean? For example, when you take water into consideration, when it's liquid, it's in one form. When you boil it, it moves into another form, which we call steam. And if you put it in the freezer, it's gonna move into a third form called ice. This is what energy does. It moves into form and out of form all the time. It does not stop. It's a continuous cycle that is always happening, whether we like it or not, right? And so our thoughts are also energy that move into form and out of form. Now, how does that function in our world? In our life, that means that if you're thinking about babies all the time, all of a sudden you're like 30, 35, you want babies, all of a sudden you see babies everywhere, right? You go to Costco, you see baby stuff. You go to Kroger, you see baby stuff. You watch TV, you see baby stuff. Why is there baby stuff all of a sudden coming towards you? It's because you've been starting to think about baby stuff. I remember when I was, I don't know, I was like 13 or something. My parents wanted to buy a new car, okay? And they told us about like which car they wanted. We were still living, oh no, it was before. It was maybe 7 or 8 because we were still in Lebanon. And so they told us about this amazing car. And it's so funny. I remember back then noticing all of a sudden cars everywhere. And I remember mom used to listen to Jim Rohn back then. And she was like, yeah, it's because we told you about it. And now it's manifesting in your reality. Our thoughts are energy and they are sent out into the universe. So if you maintain thoughts of, I can't do this, I don't have what it takes, I don't know enough, they can do it, but I can't because I had this and that happen to me. Well, that's gonna be your reality, and that was my reality for 15 years because that these were the thoughts I was maintaining, even though I knew I shouldn't. Okay. And then this year I started to focus on, I can do this. I do have what it takes. I am good enough. And if I'm not, I'll figure it out along the way. And all of a sudden, nothing changed. Like, I didn't go out and get a new diploma. I didn't go out and read a new book I had never read before. I didn't find any new information. I just started applying that information. I just started switching the thoughts I had in my mind from I can't to I can. And I think that for everyone listening here today, I think that you really know deep down that whenever you set your mind to something, on something, it's impossible for you to not get it. I know that you listening here today have gone after things in your life. We've all gone after things. It might have been your diploma, it might have been the love of your life, it might have been a sweater you really wanted when you were 16. I don't care what it is, but I know that you've made up your mind that you wanted something and you didn't even know how you were going to get it. You went out, you stepped out, and you started making small little incremental steps, and then you got there. This is the power of your mind. This is the power of your thoughts. Everything starts with a thought. It's not just thinking, thinking into results is not just positive thinkings and daydreaming about what you want, but it starts with a thought, right?
Wow, that was so powerful. I could
Thank
see
you.
you doing that on stage in front of
Oh my God.
people. Yeah, it's
Thank you,
natural.
Michelle.
And what came to me, it goes from I can't to I can to I am. And the I am presence is this connection to our higher self, to God, to universe. It's this all knowing presence that we have within us. And when we give ourselves permission to be one with that frequency and follow that intuition, life gets easier and easier. You gave yourself permission to be who you really are in the I am presence. You start to tell a different story. And so that's why thinking into results is so powerful and why you're so powerful too as well. That was
Thank you.
standing ovation. I would be standing up in my chair clapping when we were on the stage, and I feel
Thank
like that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Thank you. I've been meditating on the I am a lot for the past actually 5 years. Like, I tried to boil it down to being just the I am, and nothing more. Because I remember reading in a book, like, this is literally everything you need to know. I am, dot, literally, And so realizing that you are means everything exists within you.
The I am is you are the creator of your reality. The I am is the I make a decision, I decide. The I am is here in the now, is the ever present moment of expansion, the infinite potential, that infinite connection to source right here. It's who you are. It's you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Yeah. I think it's like bridging that, like, because a lot of what we're studying personal development is intellectually known, and that's really important to understand on a logical, because we're human, right? We're on this human in this human body. And then we're moving it into the subconscious mind. But the subconscious mind is really just remembering who we are and expanding and acting in that way. So it is scientific, but it is also spiritual at the same time. That feeling, that frequency, that knowing, and then when we can teach from that, we can speak from that, we can create from that. That's where that love is created in this world. And so what you're doing is so important. So, so, so important. I think that's what you need to hear. You're not meant to do anything else but this. This is your life's path. Yeah.
I'm starting to believe it as well. I convinced myself otherwise for the longest time. I don't know why at this point. I'm like, why
Because
would you
that
ever
is
do
how you're
it?
gonna help other people. Other people are gonna come in feeling that way, whether they wanna start their business, whether they wanna manifest their relationship, whether they've been studying this for so long and they're like, "Why am I not getting it?" You're meant to go through those experiences because that makes you a stronger coach to see people where they're at to help them rise as you do.
Yeah, 1,000%. To be honest, when I wanted to launch, everyone was telling me, "You have to find your story. You have to find your story." And I was like, I don't have any story. Like, what is my story? I've done nothing." And I remember talking to you and telling you my story for the first time, and you and Trinity both got emotional. And I was like, "Wait, what did I say?" I was like, "Wait, is my story really that impactful?" And it's slowly realizing that, yeah, actually what I went through is going to help a lot of people, because people are going through the same thing. It's just their name is not Christina Boukaram, but they're going through the same thing in their own way. Sharing that is going to allow them to see that if she can do it, anyone can.
Help people all over the world. You are trilingual?
I am. I speak English, French, and Arabic, and un poquito español.
Oh, that's amazing. So you can reach even more of an impact. You can even make videos that can reach people all over the world.
That's 1,000% the my 5-year plan. Let's say that's the goal. I'm launching in the United States, but later I'll launch in France and in Lebanon. I love my country. Lebanon is an amazing country, and I think that everyone can benefit from that everywhere, anyways.
And understanding different cultures is a gift you have too because of your experiences as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, traveling from Lebanon to France and from France to the United States of America has taught me a lot of things. It has really taught me that deep down we're all the same. You just look different, we speak a different language, don't eat the same food, but like we all want the same things, right? We want more of ourself, more love, more health, more money. And the reason why we want more, if we really examine it deep down, it's not for ourselves, it's to give back. Every single person I ask, why do you want more of whatever it is? It's always, if it's health, it's to be able to live a long, happy, healthy life with my partner, or to be able to take care of my grandkids, or to be able to ride a bicycle with my daughter. When it's money, it's, oh, I've always dreamed of inviting everyone on this amazing family vacation, right? It's always like a family vacation, or like I want to invite all my cousins to this amazing event. Every single person wants more, not for themselves. Even though the world makes you believe that you want more so that you can buy a house, so that you can buy a car, so that you can do this and that. No, you want more because the more you have, the more you can share with the people you love, right?
That's
And
what true
that's what I,
abundance is.
yes, that's true abundance. That's true prosperity. A lot of us, when we're talking, when we're trying to get this message across, we try to talk a lot about money because we know a lot of people are looking for more money. But the reality of this program is that you come in looking for more of something, but you find yourself in it. You find more of you find more love for yourself and the world around you. You find out more about why you do things as you do and how to fix or like how to level up your life. you know you do make money along the way, but at some point you don't even care about the money anymore because feeling satisfied is the best feeling in the world for me personally. Like feeling like I've accomplished something, I've helped someone today is worth billions, literally. And I'm not that rich yet. I need money like everybody else. I have things I want to buy. I want a bigger house. I want a better car. I want to travel 1,000 times per year. I have a lot of things that require money.
But it's not the driver in life.
No, it's not for me, not for me. And that's what Brian and Corey Proctor taught me this year. I always thought that I wanted more money. I was driven by money. But no, I'm driven by service. I'm just a kind person, literally. Like I've always been kind. I've always been sweet, and I just want to be nice to everyone around me because when you're in the best like vibration for yourself, if you're feeling well, this is the most natural place to be. Like think about it for yourself. When you're feeling great, you're kind to everybody, you're sweet with everyone, right? You say hello to your neighbor. If you're having a bad day and you're walking your dog, you're not going to say hello to anyone, right? It's going to be like, ugh, come on, let's get this over with.
That's why this program's so important because when you can discover who you are, you're free in that moment and you spread more love in the world. And it comes from you because that's the feeling you're emitting through law of attraction. And then the ripple effect. So when you're helping one person in the program, you're helping generations. So for people who want to get in contact with you or learn more, I know you're having a webinar coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about your webinar and how people can reach you or contact you?
Yes, yes, of course. So I'm doing this amazing webinar September 29th, and it's going to be on around the book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And so in this book, it's as it says, it's the science, literally the science behind riches. Now, when he's talking about riches, he's not only talking about money, he's also talking about, like, for example, if I take this passage from the book, he's saying, you want to get rich so that you can eat, drink, and be merry when it's time to do these things, right? You want money so that you can buy the things. It's not because you want the things. So, this book teaches you that you want more out of life, and that's the most natural thing in the world because that's actually God wanting more through you, or the universe wanting more through you. And depending on how you were brought up, you might have been taught that wanting more is bad. You're being greedy. Be satisfied with what you have. Say thank you to your God, and whatever you send my way, I will receive graciously, right? And we're taught to ignore that little feeling inside of us that wants more. We ignore it so much that by the time we're like maybe 35, we can't even hear it anymore, right? Like I've heard this many times of people that wake up when they're 50 or 60 and realize that they have not lived their life a single day. They've been living for other people every single day of their life because they haven't even had the courage to admit to themselves, I want more. Okay? So this book, first of all, allows you to want more. It tells you it's okay to want more. That's the most natural thing in the world. Because when you examine the universe is always expanding, right? What does that mean? The universe wants more. So that's the most natural thing in the world. And then it talks about the science. So getting success is a science, an exact science, like gravity, right? Gravity tells you that if you jump off a building, if you're a nice person or a bad person, you're going to end up the same way. If you're black or white, you're going to end up the same way. Girl, boy, whatever, If you're 5 or if you're 100, it doesn't matter. The law is the same for everybody. And that's the same case for the science behind true wealth. And this book teaches us how to transform our thoughts into things. And that's why I love this book. I really love this little green book. And I don't know if you know this, Michelle, but The Science of Getting Rich is actually the book that inspired the person that did The Secret, right? She
I
read
didn't know
this
that.
little she read this little green book and she loved it so much. She was like, oh, I need to share this message with everybody. Yes, yes, people need to know about this and I want more out of this. So this book has a lot of meaning for me, who started my journey with The Secret. And that's why I really love it. And in that webinar, I'm going to be using everything that Bob Proctor taught me around the science of getting rich, so that I can explain, educate, give, empower every single person that is present, to make them aware that, first of all, anything is possible. Literally anything is possible for you if you just believe it, and show them the exact steps that turn thoughts into things.
I'm getting
So I'm
emotional
really
because your frequency is on fire. And your mom
agree.
and Bob are so proud. You're in your higher self. You're in your mission. I
Oh my
can
God.
feel it.
This has been my dream since I was 15. And you know what's funny is that this year I stopped having that dream. This year was the first year where I just wanted to focus on being okay with my mom passing away. And somehow me refocusing on just myself and refocusing on being okay has shown me so much that I was ignoring about me. It's the little things that you take for granted in yourself. For example, recently I was talking to someone. I sent them a gratitude letter, and they sent me a message saying, "You're a really good writer. Did you know that? You should use that and be a good writer for yourself when you're writing your self-image and your goal script and everything. Take that into consideration." And that hit me like a light bulb. I was like, oh my God, she's right. I am an amazing writer. I know this about myself so well that there's a running joke in the family that Christina's always going to make you cry on your birthday. Because when I send you a happy birthday message, it's not just happy birthday, happy you're here. No, I am making you feel and understand what you mean to me, because this day is the day where you were born and you mean the world to me. So when I send these messages, people always cry. And I'm just speaking from my heart. And so when my mentor told me, "Yeah, you're a really good little writer," it hit me. I never gave myself credit for that. I never, like, this is something I knew about me. This is something everyone knows about me. And we're just, oh, yeah, this is how she is. We've accepted it. And I didn't stop and think to myself, hey, this is something I can leverage. Why am I taking this for granted? When my mentor, this amazing person I respect and believe, when they say that I can do these things and I am amazing, like, them pointing it out helped me realize that, maybe I should re-examine everything I believe about myself. Maybe there's a lot of talents and abilities that I've been ignoring this whole time because, oh, I was born this way, right? I have a better intuition than anybody. Oh, I was born this way. That's that's nothing. You get used to your talents. You get used to how amazing you are. And then you start talking to people and you realize, oh, not everyone is like that. This special little thing that I have is only me. And when I use it, I feel amazing somehow. So maybe I should start using it more and more.
Well, that resonates because we were on the call the other day, you and I, and you're like, Michelle, you did this, and this, these gifts. And I'm just like, yeah, what do like we dim our own light and then other people can see it when we can't. And then, but when you start focusing on it and you start giving yourself credit, that gift can flourish and then you can utilize it and give
Mhm.
yourself permission to be it, to be the person that you're always meant to be. So you did that for me. You reminded me who I am, like the Spider-Man analogy, the things that we can say to other people to leave that impression of increase. But it's coming from truth, right? It really makes a difference. But when we can do that for ourselves, leave the impression of increase on ourselves. I don't know if they talk about that. That's what's coming intuitively. It's like, that's what you're doing.
Yeah. The impression of increase, of course, is a huge thing. Like it was ingrained in Brian for a reason, and it's in thinking into results. And yeah, like you did that for me every single time you interacted, Michelle. Like especially at the beginning, I was the one seeking your help a lot because I was so wrapped up in my grief. But yeah, that impression of increase, I love that piece. I love it, and like having to live this way is the best gift ever because it just makes you like the best person in the world, like literally. So the impression of increased, like it's leaving whoever you meet, leaving them off better because they have met you, so that's better, feeling better because maybe you said a joke. Maybe it's because you smiled. Maybe it's because you gave them a hug. It's not always giving them your time, your money, your resources, your food or whatever. No. Leaving someone with the impression of increase, I feel actually impacts them more when the impression you're giving them is love, right? When the whole world is spewing hate at everybody, when you show up as a person that is kind and sweet and loving and just exists to care for people, people notice that. They're immediately drawn towards you. They want to spend more time with you. I've often heard this and I've never registered it in my head that when I walk into a room, I light it up, you know? And I was always like, you're just saying this because you're in love.
It's law.
But
You don't have to
yeah, but
speak to be a frequency. You don't have to act to be the vibration. It's law.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I started realizing it when I started entering very negative places, and I could feel the difference with me and other people around me. I was like, wait, what's going on? Why is everyone so like tense and stuff? And I'm just out here living my life. Yeah, this is what I love about thinking into results. It's you join usually to have a business or make more money or get a husband, wife, whatever it is you like, but you end up finding out so many beautiful things about yourself that switch your perspective on life, right? You start living as this person that believes that everything's possible. You start living as a force for good in the world. Literally, that's what it turns you into.
I love that so much. And so I'll post your website. And if anyone wanted to join Thinking to Results, how do they do that? Is that on your website? What's the best way to contact you?
So I have a few ways to contact me. The best way is, I guess, the easiest way is on Instagram. So it's Christina Boukaram Pro. That's my handle. I also have a website which is my. So the dash is the horizontal one. My dash infinite dash life.com. That's my website. Send me an email as well if they want. My family name, so Boukaram Coaching at gmail.com. I also have support at infinitelife.com. I have a thousand ways you can contact me. Just, yeah, Christina Boukaram. And I'm really excited about the webinar. I haven't done a webinar in a while. I feel like I am pouring everything I know into this webinar and pouring all my excitement of this material in it. And I really, really would invite you, like if you liked something about this conversation, if you're just a little bit more curious, come to the webinar. It's a free webinar. It's gonna be an hour 30, nothing much. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I promise you, this webinar is going to change your life.
I'm excited. I'll put the link down below for the webinar as well. And so just to end the podcast episode, is one key takeaway you want to leave everybody with?
This is a very, very good question, Michelle. For today, I want everyone that's listening to understand that no matter what they went through in life, that's yesterday. Sometimes it's hard to hear, right? But that's literally yesterday. Today is a new day, and you know what you want out of life. You can feel that there's a calling, there's something inside of you that's stirring, or else you wouldn't even be on this podcast. You wouldn't be listening to Michelle and myself. There's something inside of you that wants to be expressed. And I am telling you, I felt the exact same way. And guess what happened? I found thinking into results. That's literally how it happened. I asked God, the universe, for more, for guidance. I felt like something inside of me needed to come out, and the response came in thinking into results. And I think it's the same way for you guys that are listening here. So please come to my webinar, join, and see what's possible for you when you finally start believing that you can.
Thank you so much, Christina, for being here and for your time and for all this knowledge. And your story is so powerful. This is just the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. It has been amazing. You've put me so much at ease. I was just talking to my friend at this point. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for listening. I am so grateful to be here today.
Bye.
Bye.